going to demonstrate how I do this. I've pre-cut these. I think it's about 2 feet. Might have mentioned that before. I'm going to put this right here for now. We're going to take the pots out. Let me put these over here. Got a little foldable table here, which doesn't have a lot of room. So I have to put these little pots in the container here that I have the soil mixture in, soilless mixture. All right, so I've got the 1020 and I've got the insert. It's 32, 8x4. And excuse me, these are both from Johnny's, I believe. So pardon me, it's very important to sterilize your tray, your insert, and your pots, and I've showed that pretty quickly here just before this. So I take one of these little wicking ropes here and I put it in the end here, and I pull it to about that length right there, because that's what I found works well. And then I just lay it across the top here. I'll do it with another one. I'll do it with all 4. And then I'll do a few of the pots, and then I'll race forward through that, through the video, so you don't have to sit here and watch it drone on and on and on, because it's the same actions. Okay, these pots here, a lot of times they have a good hole here, but like this one, it's clogged. So what I try to do is I get 2 that are unclogged here, and that's the way I'm going to orient it against the wicking rope. Then I sit and I fill it here just like that to about, I don't know, about 1/2 inch from the top, and I look for the 2 best showing here, and I put it in the tray. The first one is pretty easy, just push down. Then I'll do another one here. All right, let's see here. All right, now I push this down a little bit right here because I don't want it to be too tight. So what I do is I do it that way, and that's why I work from this side all the way this way. That way the rope is is not too tight, and would maybe pull this out or something like that anywhere along here. So I'm going to show you this here. This side is good. This side's got a little bit of plastic, too much. So I've got just a box cutter knife here, and what I do is I just take the edge here and I trim it. This is from the manufacturing, and they don't always do a great job of clearing out this little bottom watering hole here. So that's why I do it with the knife, the box cutter knife. All right, got 2 sides there. Push it down just a little bit, lift up a little bit here is another good way to do it. And then I'll speed you up till we get to the end, and then we'll do one in a row here just for effect. If you look down in the pot here, you can see the little pieces of the wicking rope sticking through the little slits in the bottom of the pot. But one thing I saw that I'll mention in case someone ever tries this and it's not working right, you can see here in this one that is a good slot. It's nice and open. But on the other side, the manufacturing process closed this off. A wick will not get through. It needs to maintain contact on one side at least with the soil that's at the bottom here. So that is one thing you need to make sure is to rotate. There's 4 on each container, 4 little slots. So you need to make sure that the little bitty wick is poking through. It'll naturally poke through a little bit because it's squished, but yeah, it needs to make contact with the soil on the bottom. Show you the effect of this wicking rope here. I've already actually filmed it. Of course, I did all that as a test to make sure it was going to be good before I showed you this part days and days ago, probably more than a week ago, and I monitored the soil mix. So I'm going to show that right after I show this part right here. And the point of it is how consistent it is in watering. If I can, you know, do a little bit of a trial or something to improve on something or make a process easier, then I'll trial it, because it, you know, to me it doesn't take that long and I have the time. So yeah, the cost of the wicking rope and the little bit of time invested in trying it, if I can use it for years to come, then it's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. So, okay, I've done, what's this, 5? I'll go ahead and do the remaining here. They're all filled now, and I'm going to take and start the wicking. And it's already had some liquid in it, but I'm going to raise the level a little bit here where I can see it. There's enough in there that the ropes can wick it up in all the pots, and the pots are pretty light right now. They're very lightly moist, and I did that because if it's too wet when you're trying to pot up, it gets all over the outside of the pots and it just becomes all over your fingers. It's kind of a pain. So I've got this meter here and it's set to the moist level. Let's see how moist it is. Let me put it here. I don't know if you can see that, but it says it's on the dry side, number 1. In the moist area on the meter, 4, 5, and 6 is perfect. 7, 8, 9, and 10 is, or 8, 9, and 10 especially, are wet. So it's on the drier side. It's not even in the green level yet. So what I'm going to do now is take and put a dome on this. I'm going to put it up on the rack here, and I'll just come back in tomorrow and we'll see what it's like, the moisture level. I came out today and the pots are moisture for sure, and they're heavy, and I lifted this and all the reservoir water was gone, meaning it all transferred up into the pots. So I filled it to just below. Again, the pots can't get into it, but the wicks can. So let's take a look, and let me put this, well, I need to put it more straight. We'll take a look at this meter here, put it down in here, and look at that. Well, let it sit for a second. It looks like it's right at just under, it's in the moist level, green, just over 4, which is perfect. Let's try another pot back here. hope you can see that. So that one is creeping down just a little bit. It's 4.5. So it's very close to the other one. And this mix is sticking to the probe a little bit more now because it's wetter. Still way back in the back here. It said it was moist. It is at 5 right now and slowly, ever so slowly creeping down. So it's 5, which is a little bit wetter than the other two. Let's go right up here to the very front. And it is, when you first put it in, it's up a little higher. And then it starts slowly going down before it stops. And this stops right at 5 as well. So it seems to be working perfectly. It's not saturating it, which is exactly what I want. Everything seems to be doing really well right now. I'm going to talk about this wicking rope a little more because I went and searched it. This is actually 100% polyester, and it wicks really well, and the cost of it is what I paid for 150 feet was 10 bucks. So that's 150 feet. This one tray takes about 8 feet, 2 in each row here. So if I do, what is that? I did 10 trays times 8, so it's 80 feet. So I've got over twice as much left over after I do all of my trays, so I can use it for other things. So I just wanted to clarify that a little bit. If you want to see what it looks like, there's a link to my Amazon store. I put it in there. So let's take a look and see what it is without the dome on. So we're at, it's going back down, we're about 5 and a shade over in that one. Let's get this one back here. That one looks about, well, right at the same. Let's get this one over here. That one's the same, 5.5, and you know, you're almost dead middle in the moisture level, which is nearly perfect. You can see the little bar there, it's almost dead middle. Let's go over to this side. So I have it down in the mix there. Almost perfect. So this is, I'm ultra pleased with how it's working out for me here. It's been about a week or so since I did this, and I've been checking these every day. But I wanted to show you again what we're looking at here. It is slowly going down to this. Well, it's at 4 now. I wonder. See, it's going down there to 4. I'm wondering, because I haven't checked this today. Yeah, it's got liquid in here. It's a warmer day today. So yeah, it's still quite acceptable range. I'll look at this one here in this pot, which is towards the back. And it's doing the same. This won't be a problem after they germinate. Yeah, we're still in the green at 4. But what happens is it'll still continue to work, and they will levelize because water wants to level. And so if one of the pots is drier than the other and they're all making contact with the wicking rope, what'll happen is the drier pot will pull from the wetter pot till they're even. And then the wick going in the tray will bring up more to add the potential all across all of them again. And what's even better is, as the plants germinate, like here, they're going to draw water through the roots, drying out the medium. And that wick will it's still going to pull up water from the reservoir even faster to supply that even amount always as they germinate. Now when the plants get bigger, probably this size, let me see if I can pull, I haven't looked at this yet, so it's got the dang thing in it. Now, you can't tell in this one, but here, I'll pull that thing off. You see that? There we go, the root there. That's because I did that plastic because it didn't have any without holes. But you can see when the plants, it doesn't take long for these plants to send roots down into the reservoir. And so what'll happen is they will grow out of the pot here down in the reservoir. And that is exactly what I want. I want these plants to sit in here for a longer period of time than most people would do, because I don't like potting up. It's a waste of time to me. And so what I'll do is I'll let these grow, and they'll get tall and bushy, and they will interfere with each other. It'll just be a tight mess, but the plants will be quite fine because the roots will be swimming in the nutrient water. In fact, once they're in there and living in it for a little bit, I'll actually fill the nutrient level up higher. And so it's essentially a form of hydroponics. And so most of everything I've grown is able to survive in hydroponics, especially if it starts out in a medium and then sends roots down into it and all that. So it eventually becomes quite good. I've got, matter of fact, I'll show that. I've got figs over here that are growing, and they're sending roots down in to the catch basin here I have for when I water. They're sending roots down into the catch basin, so even figs will do that. I got more figs over here. And so yeah, it's a proven technique. And right now, even though this is my trial the first time, I suspected it would work, and it should make my life a lot easier. The initial setup takes a bit of more time, but the overall result I think will be worth it. Today is planting day, and I need to hot water treat the seeds that I'm planting today, which are peppers, eggplant, and tomatoes. And I definitely want to hot water treat all three of those. I have an extensive video showing exactly how I do this, so I'm not going to go too in depth with this one. But the difference between the last video, or the in-depth video, and this one is that I'm using the university standard. With eggplants and tomatoes, I'm doing 122 degrees for 25 minutes. And with the peppers, I'm doing 122 degrees for 30 minutes. I believe that's what it is. If it's not, I'll correct it when I do the peppers. All right, I'm tossing the seed in now. I have taken, as you can see there, painter's tape and wrote in the various cultivars that are in here. And the reason why I did that is in case I want to take this out and plant it at a different time as the others or what have you. It's always tied to a specific pot. Now, to get the seed out of the organza bags, I just turn it inside out, the little nut and the little, this is a cut tag. I'm not sure if I said that or not, but I wrote it in pencil because pencil doesn't come off easily. So anyway, I put the seed on here. What I'll do is I'll wipe my hands on my fingers on my pants to get them dry completely, and then I'll take one of these and I'll go over and just simply do that. I'll do one more just to show you. It comes off pretty easy if your finger's more or less dry and the seed's a little damp. One more, and this one, All right, and you can see from the others I've done it all the way around. That's it. Last thing I'll do is I'll toss a little bit more of the mix on top of it. I prefer to do that instead of poking my finger down and putting a seed in. You never know what kind of depth you're going to get, but this way I can have a look at it. I can see what seed's been planted, and I can do the mix on top and get the correct depth that I want. And then that's it. She'll be set, put on a heat mat, and until germination, and I'll bring you back at germination. Everything has come up. Some are a little bit delayed. Everything has come up except for my micro dwarf project, and that's just because I planted it 3 days ago. I expect it'll be up shortly, but some were delayed, like this one here is a pepper of mine, Calibri, which is short for California Brian, and even the lipstick from the really old seed I had is starting to come up now in those two parts. So it's all great. Everything worked great, and if you look here, the moisture is exactly the same, even with the baby plants drinking it. So I initially put some in the reservoir, very mild nutrient solution in the reservoir, and I'd never touched it until recently. So almost all this growth was done without ever having to touch it at all. The only time I really touched it was to show you the moisture level day after day. So that's it. We leave in 6 days, and these will come with us. We're going to Port Aransas again. We love that place. And these will be growing in Texas for 3 weeks. 2 weeks actually, but travel time there and back about 3 weeks.
How long do we gotta stay here for people we don't know in one lines? All of the clothes are designer, fast cars and who knows who. Yeah, I know